Okay, we're live, sir.
Hey, good morning, man. How are you?
Good, good, good. We're live to the audience, my friend.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's V. Glad to be back in the saddle. It's Algo Factory Tech. Trade your job, upgrade your life. I want to thank all you guys for being on board. And with that being said, yeah, well, let's get into it, brother.
Yeah, let's do it. It's been quite the weekend. Anybody who knows or has been watching knows that I am handling a personal matter. So my daily videos, these videos are happening every day. And the live lab for Algo Factory, where for another 50 minutes after this, those are happening every day. The videos that I have been putting out later in the day, those have been happening not quite as frequently. They'll happen as many as 5 times a week and as few as maybe two. So hang tight. I will be back to normal schedule very shortly in the next couple of weeks. Today is just what it is. Mavbet, good morning. Thank you for coming on in and watching. We do have some people watching, so let's jump into it. Via the Gorilla, you actually had some items you were doing last week. Are you feeling good, rested, and like you've had a moment to come up for air? Via the Gorilla might be muted. The Gorilla. Where are you, sir? I cannot hear you. You're freaking me out. Okay, if you might be getting coffee or something. He's also muted. Might not know it. Let me go ahead and just
Hey,
jump
sorry
into the
about
chart.
that. I was muted and I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's all
And I,
good.
and I was grabbing coffee. So I had my headset on. I was going to go ahead and grab some coffee and bada bing, bada
That's
boom. Yeah.
bada bing. I did switch. Oh, like I switched over to that
That's wish.
Death Wish. That's really something, man.
Dude, I told you. You want to get up in the morning? That's the morning coffee right there. It's
Yeah, no
Death Wish.
doubt. No doubt. I moved over to 2FA for almost everything, so it's going to take me a second to log into TradingView. Actually, it's my phone was running when I was looking at it this morning. It's not a problem, but for whatever reason, I've been kind of moving around here. So let me see this. So it takes me off. Let's see here. Now I did have an interesting Friday trading. I was just kind of that the USDJPY has just been paying. It's been beautiful. USDJPY. We've been talking about this in the Forex market, right?
Yeah.
This is a pair that really. I mean, look, we talked about this. The Japanese yen has been subject to a carry trade for I don't know how long. The carry trade's been going on. Like where the actual like Bank of Japan and their whole structure has been using infinite quantitative easing to basically buy their debt, buy like say U.S. debt or any other denominated debt, so they can invest in things around the world. And so
Right.
that has given them the opportunity to do rather well with their portfolio. Their pensions really well funded. They have a lot of assets that they can tap into should they need to, but by the same token, they have experienced a fair amount of inflation, just like everybody else.
Right.
And now they've pivoted. We covered this. We covered it well before it was going to happen. We talked
Right.
about it a year before it was going to happen. And as a result, the Japanese yen has just been dropping heavily, and the USD JPY has been skyrocketing as a result. And there's been a lot of money made on this. Um, wow, look at TradingView's taking a while to populate here. What's going on? It's weird. So with all of this going, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with TradingView. Just it's glitching out right now. If we can't get TradingView, we don't have a show.
Share
So
your screen, man. Your screen's not showing.
yeah, no, it's I mean, even if even if I shared it, all you'd see is just nothing. You see
Oh
how it's
wow.
all clocking? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with TradingView.
What's your internet
Might
speed
be.
over there?
Oh, internet's good.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it shouldn't be. I'm talking to you. I'm streaming, dude. If I could stream
Yeah.
like and everything's clear, then that's not the issue. TradingView sometimes it's when it's like super heavily used, it will glitch out. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I'll just open up a fresh window on this, or let's refresh. Yeah, if TradingView is not going, we don't have a show. There we go. Okay, good. Little refresh fixes everything. So yeah, like I said, USD GPO is just paying like beautifully, and I did accidentally though. I had a trade on last minute, and I was like, oh man, maybe I can pull in just a little bit of money here at the very last minute. And the way that my clock is set up on my computer, unfortunately, um, it just was like a minute or two behind. So the market closed while I was still in a trade, and the trade was a pretty tight trade. You never have market close on like a tight trade. That's just not a good idea. And I was worried that the market was going to open on Sunday with very little liquidity, and there was going to be a major snap out, and I was going to get hurt. But when you don't have liquidity in any market, and there's like a stop out, even though your stop is set to say like you should only lose $1,000 or whatever, that you can lose way more than that. So I never have a trade on at the market close for any market. That's just too many things can happen overnight, and especially over a weekend. But the USD JPY, now that we've been talking about it, here it is on the screen, and you're seeing it. It went for a pretty nasty liquidity grab. Whatever was going on over the last several days has calmed down, right? So I'm looking at a chart. Let me zoom out just a little bit. I'm looking at this, and you see it's just nonstop up, like going for 2 weeks. And all you had to do was buy the dip. I mean, it was like fish in a barrel. And this is the kind of situation where, as long as you have a good methodology for trading, kind of like the FOMO trade or the free fall
Yeah.
trade, if you have good methodology, that's where you can print money. And this happens with crypto all the time. So, for example, not only does it happen with crypto going up, but what people don't realize is that like a lot of crypto traders, they're freaking out when crypto is falling. Like they don't know what to do. And here it is right here. There's Bitcoin falling. Look at this. I called this out last week. Now I didn't, I thought it might go a little higher than it did. I didn't need it to go this high to take this trade, but it went exactly where I said it would go. If you can see that, see the bottom of that green box. I said it would go here. It went there. It's there right now. And if you're watching Friday's show, I felt, I thought and calculated it would go a little higher than it did, but it still did what I said it would do. It just didn't go up quite as high. Move this box here. If you look at the path, it went up to here, but it went straight down to there. So I did talk about in one of my afternoon shows in the earlier part of the week, I said it was probably going to jump down to 63 or down to the bottom of this consolidation, which is the low 60s. I did say that would probably happen. 63 it hit, which is basically, let's put this line up so we can see where it is. That 63 bounced off of 63, went down to 61. It's exactly what it did. So, I mean, this is, when you know this kind of knowledge, then you can profit. Now, when it was up here, a little bit higher, I was waiting to see what happened. I would not go long because it did not break out of this month's long consolidation, this giant rectangle. I wouldn't go long until it broke out. I did not go long here. I did not lose money. Now, the range traders, the ones who purely trade range, they shorted right there and they did well. Somebody such as myself waited until I had a little bit more data before I was interested in going short. And this right here, fish in a barrel, just short, 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 short. You can do this. And what you'll notice at the end of a lot of bull runs, you'll have a free fall for crypto. So if we were to go back in time, like a lot farther, say 2022, after the big 2021 run, then you'll notice where a lot of people are panicking, the rest of us are profiting because they understand. Now I'm going to the weekly chart. We'll map that out. This is going to happen again. I mean, some people think it's happening right now. I don't think now is truly a free fall. I think we're just in the middle of a consolidation. So a lot of people, watch Bitcoin go up from 15,000 to 70,000, and then it ticks down to 60, and they're all freaking out, which is kind of silly. But this is like an example right here, right? In 2022, around about April, you really start to see the free fall. And in this area, if I were to zoom in, there are so many opportunities. There's nonstop opportunities during this. Now, everybody in crypto, except for people like us, were freaking out during this period, right? So if I'm just going to outline this to make it easier to see, we're going to zoom in and I'll show you how this is fish in a barrel, because alt season goes in reverse, right? And this is Bitcoin. Now, as Bitcoin is falling, the alts tend to fall faster. So during this period, if I were to go, say, to like the 3-hour chart, right here. No, that was it. Let's go to the 3-hour chart. Just your, swing trade time frames. So these kind of trades are just like, you could take a few a day, or you could take a few a week. I mean, there are multiple trades that are very easy to identify because the downtrend is very clear. You got this one here with a nice, roughly 2 to 1. You could have it tighter. It could have been a better risk to reward than that. You got another one like right here, another one right here, another one right here. And then it just continues. You got one basically here, 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 here. So look at this. This is just multiple trades. And this is within like a couple weeks. And this is a swing trade. These are people who can trade while they have a full-time job. This doesn't count guys like me who are trading all day long, and you're looking at the 30-minute chart or the 15-minute chart, and you're just taking like, several trades a day. So when everybody else is freaking out because crypto is falling, you want to be the one who understands how to profit in the chaos, trade after trade after trade. And everybody's crying and you're hearing all this bullshit. Oh, Mt. Gox this and whatever that. And, some news companies are trying to sell some bullshit that's probably not even true. And you're just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Keep it coming. I'm going to make money. I'll make money. That's what that's about. So your question is going to be, as a, as somebody who wants to make money in cryptocurrency, right? You got a couple ways about it. You could buy some crypto and hold on to it and make some money. I do that. I think everybody does that. Like any crypto, you buy for, held on to it for several months or even a couple of years or whatever. And that's very profitable. Most people making money in crypto, like 99% of people are making money doing that. But imagine if you could take a small percentage of that crypto, like, I don't know, whatever percent works for you. For me, it's maybe 10%, something like that, and trade it around and actually make money in these moves. Then you can augment your portfolio, because otherwise you're just sitting and waiting. What are you doing during that time? Sitting and waiting. What are you doing? Take advantage of the time that you're given. And this is one way to do it. Let's get into the charts a little bit. We have a little bit of time before we move on to the private live lab. Let's see here. We'll go back to Bitcoin and we'll just do an assessment and see what we think is going to happen. Let me undo this. Undo that. Okay, good. So, yeah, obviously we have the Bitcoin taking a spill. Let's extend this out. Now, the real question is whether or not it's going to stay above 61. And if it didn't, we can have some ideas of where it might go next, whether it did or not. So we'll go to the Kingfisher. We'll take a look at the liquidity levels, and then I'll take a look at the algos and see if I can get a feel, right? So let's maximize that and see where all of the liquidity levels are on the leverage exchanges. Yeah, real strong liquidity to the upside. 64,000, and then again at 65.5, and that's pretty thick at 65.5. So the range traders they're going to get their longs on, like if they haven't already, they're about to. So let's roll back to the chart here. The wrong chart here. Okay. So what do we say? 64.5. So that's going to be like good. So you got like a nice block of liquidity, like right there. 60, like, and it's not just 64.5, it's all around that. So this yellow line, let me zoom in a bit. So here's Bitcoin headed down. These liquidities from last week, we're going to get rid of them for now. We're going to take a look at Kingfisher, see where they really are. We got 59 and a nice block at like 56, but it's not anywhere near as much as to the upside. We'll still mark it out. We got 59, which has still been there, and then a nice bit of a block around 56, roughly here, right? Now, is price going to go down to 56? Well, I mean, that's where a lot of liquidity was. That's where it bottomed out, 56,000. If we look back a little bit here, we'll see 56,000 was the post-halving low back here, and this was in May. So price could want to go down there and grab liquidity. And for the moment, now based on price action, it looks pretty bearish, right? and you have a lot of people who are, not happy or whatever about the last, say, day and a half, 2 days. Let's take a look at the algos. Okay. 3 hour bearish. And pretty bearish on the daily, weekly. Yeah. So, and remember, I've been saying it for several days now, at least, that price did need to fall before it was going to go up. It's pretty clear, but I'm going to tell you it's high time frame bullish. So what we do have here in, in the greater scheme of things, if we look at the weekly, is that we're in a massive range. Price most likely will do one of two things, and it could do other things too. But I'm going to map out the most two likely. Is that it may bounce up from here, grab liquidity, right, and then from there, it's a great possibility it'll head back up. It may also head back down and double bottom and head back up, or it could actually break down. We know that might happen as well. And if it broke down, there's some liquidity sitting at 59,000. And then depending on how price action and algos are, because algos are ultimately based on price action, it may head down to this level where that 56 is. We might get another low. That can happen, all right? And right now, as for the very moment, I don't see price bouncing up algorithmically. These things can change rather quickly, especially when you have super low volatility. And I can tell you right now, volatility is in the toilet. Here is your weekly, and it is sloping down heavily, headed towards the 20. On the daily, it would be interesting to see volatility. Daily looks super bearish, though. I will tell you that. Like right now, the daily does. Like if there were to be a turnaround in the daily, it would be sudden. Volatility has been headed up in the daily, probably because of that stiff move down that we've been seeing. And then that should be pretty much it. Now, volatility on the monthly is moving up because monthly moves extremely slow. So that's telling us that, let me do this. So when you're looking at the monthly chart, we have to remember, being as slow as it is, volatility has been moving up since like 2023. So this whole move up has been a bullish move. Does that mean it's going to continue to be a bullish move? Probably not. But one thing about this indicator, the ADX, is that until, usually, not always, but usually price, when it changes direction, the ADX will start to arc down. And it hasn't done that. So the high time frame, this isn't always the case, but what's a lot of the time the case is that the ADX still heading up is a sign that whatever's happening is temporary if it's going against the trend. So the trend the whole time was bullish, right? It's a bullish trend. And the ADX is still positively sloping. So if this ADX started to actually slope downwards, then I would be thinking that the market is going to experience a change in the higher time frame. That means I would think, oh, well, it's over, but it's not doing that. It hasn't done that. It's still sloping positively. So whatever we're seeing seems to be temporary. That's one thing that I'm pretty confident saying. Pretty confident, but V the Gorilla is probably going to give us some of his. V's devices are not connected. V, I'm going to boot you. You're going to have to come back. Okay, we're going to kick V from the studio. So yeah, V the Gorilla might he'll have his say on there. Okay, V will be right back. Good. He sent me a message. So either way, though, this does appear to be temporary. We might have a dip down a little bit deeper. We might not. Remember, these things move on pretty high time frames. So if you're tripping out, you think crypto's over, it doesn't appear that that's the case. And most people in crypto don't think that's the case. And I don't think that's the case. However, these are the possibilities. You're going to get, it could just either go straight down from here, push down, could head up, do some consolidation towards the bottom. And I'm 50-50 on whether or not it's going to head down to this 56K again, because it's pretty bearish right now. But we might, again, see a consolidation towards the bottom of this this rectangle, this big consolidation. We might see a mini consolidation at the bottom of this before it decides which way it's going to go. So yeah, either crash down, consolidation. Those are my two most likely scenarios. And as this consolidates, the longer it does, the more likely it's going to bounce up. from here, excuse me, the more likely it stays down here, the more likely it'll bounce up. So that's what we got. I'm going to go ahead, head over to the private live lab. Thank you all for being on here. Looks like V the Gorilla will be back to join us in the private live lab. In the meantime, don't forget Algo Factory.tech. Zap that QR code, top right hand corner, come to Algo Factory.tech. We can teach you how we pull money from these markets. You know, how I go in there and I take those little bunch of trades that I showed you, right? And in the meantime, while the rest of my crypto is slowly going up over time, usually, in the meantime, I can add to that bag. I can make small trades, take little wins, and add it to my crypto bag. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget.
Join us or die.